Regular Rubik's Cubes are solved by putting colors together on its faces, but I designed a mod for a Rubik's Cube that is stickered in a very different way. In this cube, each sticker has more than just one color, and these colors form patterns on the cube's faces, and they also form patterns around the corners of the puzzle. As you can imagine, this affects how this cube is solved, so this presents a great challenge even for those who know how to solve a regular Rubik's Cube. So, why did I make this puzzle? Well, I've been experimenting with different kinds of sticker mods, and I am always on the lookout for interesting designs that I can incorporate into my puzzles. A few days ago, I was scrolling through different designs and I found this one. And with 12% remaining in my phone's battery at 3 a.m. in the morning, because who needs sleep really, I checked out how this design would look in a Rubik's Cube's face. I always have this 3x3 template with a grid on my phone to help me try out layouts that can be used for new puzzles. And it's especially helpful when I'm in bed and I don't really want to get up and design on my computer. A few hours of sleep later and it was 3D time. I'm not really good with 3D software, so I just use Paint 3D to test out my designs. I just want to make sure that the design for one face can be made consistent with the rest of the other faces. And once I have the basic design down, I try to color it. I use colors that are easy to distinguish while I'm testing out different layouts to help me see things better. I followed the scheme I tried on my phone, but as I expanded the design to more faces, I started adding more colors to make sure that there are enough clues left for the solver. The basic concept of this layout is that there is one consistent diagonal design that appears on all faces. That's the pink one here. This one helps establish the orientation of the centers. Then we have the next layer of diagonals. Each face has these diagonals in two different colors, and when you look around the cube, these diagonals continue to adjacent faces, forming triangular shapes around 4 of the cube's corners. These diagonals appear in 4 different colors, each representing one triangular shape. Then we have the last layer of diagonals, which are on the corners themselves. They form these smaller triangular shapes in the corners from before. I only used 2 colors for these ones, each color appearing twice in the puzzle. I did this because if I were to use 4 different colors for these small triangles, they would not really add value, as they will just be following the layout of the previous set of diagonals. I'm sure you've noticed that this is not the final design of the stickers for this project. I do the real layouting on Figma, where I design the stickers for all 6 faces. I thought the initial design would translate well into the real layout, but once I was done designing it, I realized that it looked kinda weird. Because on the actual cube, we have gaps that hide the connections for the diagonals. So now, we just have a bunch of misaligned shapes. So, to fix this, I made changes to which parts of the grid form the diagonal shapes. Then I found a color palette that I liked online and applied the color scheme to the design. I really like this color palette, but a lot of its colors are very similar, which will make the puzzle unnecessarily difficult to solve. To make sure that I don't add this layer of difficulty, I used the similar colors for different layers of the diagonals. For example, the dark blue colors appear in a set of small diagonals and a set of long diagonals instead of 2 long diagonals, so the solver doesn't have to strain their eyes in determining which part belongs to which long diagonal. I think we should have a counter for how many times I'm going to say diagonal in this video. Anyway, once I was done with coloring the design, it was time to get the stickers printed. Some of the colors in the print came out more similar than they were on screen, but that should be fine, mostly because of all that diagonal talk I just had now. Here's the cube that I will be using for this project. It's a force cube created from disassembling and reassembling 6 stickerless cubes to create 6 plain colored cubes for projects like this. Next up is cutting the stickers for each facelet. Stickers for cubes with circular centers are the most difficult to cut because this requires me to cut perfect circles instead of just straight lines. Now, if you want to try this puzzle on your own too, I have a free PDF of these stickers in the Custom Cuber Discord server. But if you want to create your own design too, blank templates are also available on the Custom Cuber Patreon. Links are all in the description below. Another challenge related to circular stickers is that while the other stickers are easy to align to the edges of the cube, for the circular ones, you kinda have to just trust your abilities in aligning them by eye. Now that our cube is nearly complete, and before we explore how this puzzle is solved, drop a comment below to share what you think will be the biggest challenge in solving this cube. And now, here's our final puzzle. Let's see what parts of the design can help us in solving this cube. I think the key to solving this puzzle is finding centers that share the same colors to identify how the centers should be oriented as you place the edges. We can also see that there are sets of 3 identical edges, so accidentally interchanging these as the cube is being solved will lead to a parity, in which you will be unable to solve the cube unless that interchange is fixed. So a little bit of trial and error will be needed here. And of course, if you want to see another puzzle, check out the video on your screen right now.